From its origins in Wyoming through the river valleys of Idaho and Oregon, and eventually into Washington's Columbia River Valley, the Snake River is perhaps the most enigmatic salmon fishery in the United States, and yet the returning numbers of these fish are at record lows.
What does salmon mean to us? Well, salmon was the first to stand up for us, to give himself before any human beings were here. In our creation story, it speaks to that. It speaks to the Creator calling the animals to step forward and to let the Creator know what they have to offer.
The Lower Snake River runs through a series of 4 dams over the course of its path through Idaho, intersecting numerous small towns and the heart of Nez Perce tribal country. In 2020, Idaho Representative Mike Simpson proposed a plan to breach the 4 lower dams in order to help restore the rapidly deteriorating salmon and steelhead migrations. And, as you can imagine, these potential solutions became highly contested. Like most conservation issues, the fix is not an easy one. Humans, as you may know, are complicated.
We don't see ourselves different from the land. We're the same as. And, we may have a cerebrum in a part of our brain up here that we have higher thinking. We may have some thumbs here that may make us a little different, but all in all, we still have to do the things and rely on the elements of this land and what it provides for us.
Is Lewiston, is this a fishing community?
It is. Like, it's huge. I mean, gosh, I think we have 20, 25 licensed guiding companies. And everybody speaks.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I manage a local nonprofit, and one of my volunteers takes off all summer long to fish all day, every day.
It's a big deal for this community. The numbers for those steelhead and salmon runs coming up.
Everybody has a conversation about it. Everybody has an opinion about it. Even if you aren't that educated, they still have an opinion about it, one way or the other.
We're out of tuna. Got a John boat, got an old ski boat, got a kayak, a bunch of badass river boats. There's like a small town's worth. This is like a small Idaho town worth of people out here in boats.
Yeah. But a lot of people think, well, geez, this is just a hobby, This is just, you just go fishing, right? Like, how much could you really put into these communities economically? And I mean, I got to buy gas all the time, put it in the boat. I buy all this gear from local shops. I'm not ordering it off the computer, or the internet. And so it makes, it's a significant part of a lot of these communities' annual economics.
When they're talking about one of these possibilities to recover salmon and steelhead, about like breaching the lower 4 Snake River dams, what is that? Do you guys have any thoughts on that? Is that a good thing, a bad thing, or are there just too many unknowns?
For this community, I think that would be a bad thing. With the barge traffic that we have now, it's a huge income for this community. A lot of jobs, a lot of transportation for grain, lumber, that kind of thing that goes out of here.
Kind of same page.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the cheapest hydropower in the U.S. right now. It's right here in the Northwest because of those dams that we have.
Yeah, are you going to lose the ability potentially to run a prop boat right here?
Or badass wake boat.
Or badass wake boat, yeah. Yeah, you could absolutely lose that ability. But everything else that the bigger scope of things, everything would be replaced. And the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that it is not inexpensive to run this hydro system as it is.
What percentage, like if you had to break it down, is it like, yes, but we need the power? Is that like the bulk of the conversation, or where?
It's a lot of the conversation. Yeah, it's kind of getting towards a little older people, because I don't know, if you drive all the way, say, along the Columbia to the ocean, you've got wind turbines the whole way. So then you've got people that are my age, younger, my kids, whatever, that are like, well, there's ways to supplement the power.
Yeah.
And they're a little more environmentally friendly, I think, probably. But the older ones, dams are what they know, door shuts what they know, lower granite's what they know, and they don't like change.
Oh.
Loosen your drag maybe a little bit.
Kind of back it off a little.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I hate to like stop dead in the water right here. Fish on. Still got him? You still on him? I'm just gonna go fast across to you. You can cut this way. I don't have any lines out.
Big old melon.
Yeah.
Black mouse.
Yeah, dude. Nice job.
Oh, well done, dude. That was awesome.
It's a tank.
It is.
I mean,
it is.
It really is.
That's a very solid fish. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a 20-pound fish.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Like, what is this fish to you? How long has it been out in the ocean? Do you think this is a hatchery fish?
Yeah, so it's
I
hard
feel
to-
like it's a hatchery fish just because the fight wasn't all that long. But, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, so it's really hard to tell with these fall Chinook in particular because there is such a bunch of hatchery fish do spawn naturally in the system, and so you know, they don't maintain that clipped adipose fin. These bigger fish are out in the ocean far longer, right? That's where they put on all that weight.
Yeah.
And so, and this really, I think, Ryan, is, I mean, this really tells the story of what we're trying to restore and what we are trying to recover, you know, as a, not only as a river system, but as a species.
The tribe in general supports breaching of the 4 lower Snake River dams because what these dams have done to these species of salmon and what that means to our culture.
Salmon need water temps at least at or preferably below 70 degrees Fahrenheit in order to successfully survive. Without that natural, daily heat loss of a free-flowing system, these bodies of water have effectively become thermal batteries, trapping the heat with no way to release it. Nice. Fishing here, you become acutely aware of data. Salmon and steelhead numbers are monitored from the time they hatch to the time they go into the cooler, using everything from pit tags to manually counting to reporting with catch cards like this one. The morning Chinook bite is slowing down, so we take the jet for a rip upstream to a stretch that looks more like a river to try to find another impressive migrator, the steelhead. Yeah, so the idea is we got our fish, they're bright and hyperactive, not chill at all, and we're sliding them into these runs where these steelhead are hanging out. And the runs, these fish are hanging out in these runs because they're deep enough, dark enough that they're safe from overhead predators. They get a little chill out zone from the heavy current, and these baits are getting in that zone, and these fish are gonna kind of dodge out of the way. They don't like how they look. They're kind of agitated by them, and as you back troll, slide down, you're putting these fish into like a fight or flight situation where they're gonna get into a zone that they don't want to hang out in, where they are exposed, like a shallow area, and they're either gonna smash this bait because it's ticked them off, or they're gonna rip around it. That one, here. You want to keep that drifting?
I got it in neutral now.
You want the net?
Yeah. Holy shit.
Oh, he
dude.
wants to go.
You want, yeah.
Yeah. You don't get to do all the fun stuff at the same time.
Oh, that's why it's a freaking Chinook.
Oh. Steelhead are hard fighters, but not much beats a Chinook in the current.
Oh, nice. Not the target species, but a keeper at any rate.
It's a hefty fish. So why? Okay, this is a hatchery fish, obviously, because we have no adipose fin.
Yeah.
So that big thumb fin back here that was on the last one is not here. Why were you like, oh, it's a hatchery fish, so it would be good to keep this? Why would it be good to keep this?
So you take them out of the natural spawning. So it's this, it's called percent hatchery origin spawners.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, we were talking about fitness early, pretty
Yep.
big genetic fitness. So
Right.
it's not naturally spawned.
Because there's this idea that this fish is going to get in there and mix it up on the reds of,
with wild stock.
of a wild fish.
Yeah.
And either, I guess you could call it, contaminate that wild stock with hatchery stock,
Yeah.
or even just get in there and cause stress to a native fish that could, somehow prevent it from spawning effectively.
Yeah.
Built in the 1970s, the dams have become more than simply a source for hydropower. The increased water levels resulted in easy transportation for ag products and lumber. Whole microeconomies sprang up, but on the Snake River, fishing holds an equally important role within these communities, economically and otherwise.
The things that have been done to the river system are affecting what is supposed to be in the river. And so if the Columbia River System of Operations, the hydro system, is affecting that, then the United States, you're the one that put that system in. You need to take a good hard look at it and fix what is broken, because it's affecting our health, it's affecting our economy, our culture, our way of life of who we are.
Pretty wild, right? Like, this is the inside of what we were seeing from the outside. Honestly, like a lot of infrastructure that's outside of the dam
An incredible amount.
that's just for fish passage, right?
Just
So
specifically. Yep.
there's upward travel for adults.
Yep.
Obviously, if you look in our window here, it's being used way more. Like, there's a tiny little walleye, shad, there's steelhead, there's chinook,
Smallmouth.
which is super cool. And then you have the smallmouth and walleye ripping through here. But there's a lot more to a hydroelectric dam than turbines and what you see from the outside. The infrastructure related to fish passage is significant. There are screens to prevent smolt from entering the turbines. Instead, they are routed on their downstream passage through this huge water slide. The sprinklers on the end are in place to deter eagles and osprey from hovering over the spillway for easy meals. Then there's the ladder, which is an artificial whitewater run that in theory allows salmon and steelhead to navigate up, over, and through the dam. But it turns out the non-natives that eat native salmon smolt can run the ladder too. Walleye, bass, and the native pikeminnow are the most common. These three fish are voracious eaters and have flourished in the pools created by the dams where they target salmon and steelhead smolt. But the pikeminnow is of particular interest to me. Wildlife departments for this area have gone so far as to establish a reward for anglers who catch and keep this fish. Is it because they eat more smolt, or because anglers pay to catch walleye and bass? We caught up with one of these anglers. How many pikeminnow were you averaging per day?
Well, I've been here since the beginning of May, and I got 360.
Wow.
So that's nothing. 2 a day. 2.5, 3 a day.
And last year, you think you got like right around 1,100 fish?
Yeah.
And that equated to how much?
I had 10,300 and something, or 10,030 something. I don't know. A little over $10,000. I don't remember.
Which is pretty cool. I mean,
well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had managed it more as a business than as an adventure, I actually could have come close to breaking even. you know. But when you eat in a restaurant every day, you know.
Support the local economy, you know.
Oh yeah, I did that.
That's a pretty good effort, but the record holder for the bounty program turned in 16,150 pikeminnow in 2024 and collected a check for $164,260. There's a lot of money in fisheries.
I remember years ago, March used to be one of the big months, even though later in the season.
But President's Day weekend.
Yeah, but you could fluctuate 20,000 a month per year if it was a bad steelhead season. Fishing's very strong for us.
They're already icons of the Northwest, you know. The dams are, unfortunately, have a little bit more mystique about them than salmon and steelhead do anymore. And so I'm sure there's some people that would, you know, look at this as a historic part of the Northwest, you know.
But like speaking of history, right, like we're at another interesting time where you have dams that are successfully coming out, and like you said, they're all unique, but like the Elwha.
Yep.
That one's a smaller dam.
Much smaller system, yeah.
That one is way closer to the ocean.
Yep.
And so in that particular case, you kind of got to see immediate returns.
Yeah, and that really is providing the roadmap for us at Trout Unlimited to evaluate the success of these dam removal projects. Walleye, you think? Feel like a sock? Oh, smallie.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
So, ooh, hey-oh. This, also non-native species, super cool. Love these fish, but very good predator of other fish. So the salmon and steelhead smolt. If I was being a true conservationist, I'd probably keep that, dude. So all of this right here, this is all purely to try to get smolt that back downstream.
Yeah, I like to refer to it as a Band-Aid. Much of the system is one big Band-Aid. You see all these extreme measures that, you know, the government, if you will, the Corps of Engineers, Bonneville Power Administration have gone to increase survival. And this has, again, been over the course of 30 plus years. And we have not found the right Band-Aid.
We're talking almost 100 years ago on some of these systems. Can we fix those? We've tried to mitigate. We've tried to put fish ladders in. We tried to do flow augmentation. We've tried to do barging. None of that has worked. So what can we do differently? Well, we can increase the technologies and renewable energies that are out there so that the replacement of the energy from the 4 lower Snake River dams isn't needed, it doesn't have the value of something that's aging, that's only going to continue to cost you more money going into the future, where renewable energies that are the technology of today will decrease. If we're all that smart, then we should be able to figure this out and do the right thing, because any keystone species that is going extinct is our fault, because youth, they tend to outrun their mistakes, but can they outrun our mistakes?
Oh, get it out! Oh, yeah!
Nice one. Oh. I need to replace our water after this guy.
You know, not only has the federal government failed us as residents of the Northwest in the United States in providing this opportunity and you know, maintaining the integrity of the species, but they have really failed the tribes of the Northwest in these, you know, legal commitments that they had entered into, you know, particularly with the Nez Perce Tribe locally in 1855.
The Treaty of 1855 established the sovereign rights of the Nez Perce to hunt, fish, and gather on their lands and waterways. But maintaining these rights has been no easy task, especially as the economy of the region and the economy of a sovereign nation overlap.
We came together under mutual agreement, and we wanted to share these waters, share these lands, and all of its wealth that it holds. And that was our understanding of the agreement. And so the federal government and its entities, whether it's the Department of Interior, the Department of Energy, and the National Park Service that is under the Department of Interior, they have a responsibility to us not to burden us in a way that doesn't benefit our agreement.
You got to really split. You've got, we need the dams, it provides power, it provides this, it provides that. But then you've got low salmon runs, low numbers. I haven't seen it this low as it's ever been versus not a huge one, but, and the tribe's big.
Well, it just got to be a lot of things taken into account. But no, we'll listen. We'll hear what they got to say. Come up with a good plan. Man, good plans are hard to knock down.
The science has more or less been put to bed. The NOAA, National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, came out acknowledging that the number one mortality factor is the 4 dams. By removing them is our best chance for recovery and restoration.
The world is watching this. The world is watching how the United States of America treats with the first people of this nation. And when we're coming to the table to try to find solutions, we're not trying to destroy the transportation or the energy or the irrigation. We're trying to enhance it while enhancing or regrowing these fish populations back. We're trying to find a solution for it. That's who we are. That's who the Nez Perce people are. We want to separate that distinction of winners and losers. We're not agreeing to be disagreeable. We're agreeing to winners, 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 and winners. That's what we're after.